Welcome to another episode of Colorado Politicking. I'm your host, Pat Poblete, and we are kicking things off this week at the State House because there was some big news at the Capitol. We have a new Senate president. That is going to be the former Majority Leader, Steve Fenberg. And to bring in a little bit of detail about the new guy, we're going to start with Chief Legislative Correspondent Marianne Goodland. Marianne, how are you?
Fantastic. It's fire hose season here at the Capitol. There's just a lot going on, and added to all of the very active session that we're now in, the resignation of Senate President Leroy Garcia, who is taking a job with the Pentagon.
So Marianne, Garcia's replacement is going to be Steve Fenberg, like I mentioned. Now, he's not exactly someone who's unheard of at the Capitol, but for anyone who's watching this right now who may not be familiar with his work as a legislator, what can you tell us about him?
Senator Fenberg is from Boulder, and a lot of his legislative agenda over the 6 years now that he has been in the legislature reflects a lot of those community interests. He was the major sponsor of Senate Bill 181 in the 2019 session that reformed the Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission from an agency that promoted the oil and gas industry to one that has as its core mission protecting public health. He's also carried he's carried a lot of bills like that, bills that have drawn a lot of controversy over the last couple of years.
Now, that's a little bit about him, Marianne, but I guess what I'm more curious about is what kind of leadership style he's going to bring to this new role. Obviously, Leroy Garcia went about it a certain way. Should we expect a big change when we see Steve Fenberg at the front of the Senate chamber?
I think that is possible. Yes, and partially this is because in putting Fenberg into this position, the chamber leadership definitely moves left. Fenberg is a far more liberal lawmaker than Leroy Garcia, who has a strong reputation for working across the aisle with the minority party. Case in point, a bill that he's running this week on allowing the University of Northern Colorado to open medical school. That's a bill that's moving through the process pretty rapidly, and it's being carried in the Senate by Jerry Sonnenberg, who is the senior member of the Republican caucus in the Senate. So I think one of the things we're going to be watching is to see just how much Senator Fenberg can reach across the aisle in his new job, which he takes on February 23rd. He did tell reporters yesterday that he has a very good relationship with Minority Leader Chris Holbert. They do work together on the calendar and sort of the daily activities going on. So what I'm going to be watching for, at least, is to see how the minority party reacts. What was telling to me more than anything was that when the announcement came out that Senator Fenberg had won the Democratic election, there was stone silence from the other side of the aisle.
Thank you for that, Marianne, and for your continued coverage of the legislature. You can see Marianne's story on Senator Fenberg's election and Senator Garcia's resignation to join the Biden administration just below me if you're watching on Colorado Politics. If not, thank you so much for joining us this week. For myself and for Marianne, we really appreciate it, and we will see you again next week.